Morning student. Today I present e-content for subject Social Science, Class 8, Social and Political Life, third part, Chapter 8, Confronting Marginalisation. So student, in this chapter we discuss on the confronting of the marginalisation. As we have already talked about the marginalized groups, that is Dalit and Adivasi and Muslim. Now we have come into focus on how two groups come forward to conflict the issue of marginalization. So in this chapter we focus on this how they solve their problem. There are various type of problems they face, like a social problem, economic problem, a political problem. They have nothing opportunity to come forward. So they, in this chapter we see all this discuss about it. So they face religious solace, armed struggle, self-empowerment, and education and economic upliftment. So they work on this issue. So Adivasi, Dalit, Muslim women and other smaller marginalized groups argue that simply by being citizen of a democratic country, they possess equal right that must be respected. So there is a problem. They want to equality. They also want that equality we have treated as a equal like in a democratic country, and fundamental rights available to all citizens. Equality, marginalized have known the rights. So these are their basic demands. So in this chapter we have all discussed on some topics, that is first confronting marginalization, second invoking fundamental rights, third we talk about on laws for the marginalization, then promoting social justice. After that we talk on the protecting the rights of Adivasi and Dalit. Then we will discuss on Adivasi and the 1989 Act. So our next topic is confronting marginalization. So student, as you know, what is the definition of marginalization? That is, marginalization is a process where by something or someone is pushed to the edge of a group and accorded lesser importance. So you better understand that this type of people given lesser importance because they are not in the center. They are as of a group, and this is why, because predominantly a social phenomena by which minority or subgroup is excluded and all their needs or desires are ignored. That's why this is very needs of the confronting. So what is the meaning of confronting marginalization? The meaning of confronting marginalization is to give equal respect, equal participation in our country to prevail equality. It is necessary to give them equal respect. Then only our country will be called truly democratic. So this is the meaning of confronting marginalization. Student, our next topic is invoking fundamental rights. So in this chapter we will read about some of the ways in which groups and individuals challenge existing inequalities. That Adivasi, Dalit, Muslim women and the marginalized groups argue that simply by being citizen of a democratic country, they possess equal rights that must be respected. So many among them look up to the Constitution to address their concerns. In this chapter we will see why the Constitution of India is something that marginalized groups invoke to the cause of their struggle. So fundamental rights are the basic rights given to every individual of a nation, which every person is entitled to having being a human. If fundamental rights are instilled in the Constitution and has been inspired from American Constitution, the fundamental constitutional rights are equally available to all Indian, including marginalized groups. Adivasi, Dalit, Muslim, women and other marginalized groups argue that simply by being citizen of a democratic country, they possess equal rights. So by insisting on the fundamental rights, have drawn on the rights in two ways. That is, force the government to recognize the justice done to them, and they have insisted that the government should to enforce these laws. So this type of people, they believe, they feel that if anyone, so this has been used by Dalits to seek equality where it has been denied to them. There Dalit can invoke or draw of a fundamental rights. on situation where they feel that they have been treated badly by someone, individual, by nation, by country, anything, by the government. So the constitution lays down the principle that make our society and polity democratic. They are defined in and through the list of fundamental rights that are unimportant. So part of the constitution, these rights are available to all Indian equality. So students, in this picture, you see the fundamental duties in the constitution, our fundamental rights, that the constitution of India give all and every citizen, that is 6 fundamental rights given by the constitution, that is right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right freedom of religion, culture and educational right, and right to constitution remedies. These are the basic 6 fundamental rights given by the constitution to every and all citizens of the India. And time to time there is various type of amendment of fundamental rights also done by the government. So as far as the marginalized, our next topic is articles, and in this chapter we see some articles that is basically made for the marginalized people. And as far as the marginalized is concerned, they have drawn on these rights in 2 ways. So the struggle of the marginal groups have influenced the government to frame new laws in keeping with the spirit of the fundamental rights. So first, that is fundamental. There are various type of fundamental articles, that is for the especially for the marginalized group, that is Article 17 and of the Constitution. Article 17 is very important in the Constitution because this article is totally very especially made for the marginalized, that is untouchable. So Article 17 is of the Constitution states that untouchability have been abolished. What this means is that no one can henceforth prevent Dalits from equality themselves, entering the temple, using public facilities. It also means that it is wrong to practice untouchability, and that this practice will be not be tolerated by the democratic country. So no one can prevent Dalits from the educating themselves, entering temple, using public facility and various type of thing. After that, Article 15 of the Constitution states that no citizen of India shall be discrimination on the basis of religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth. This has been used by Dalits. So these articles are used by the Dalits. 6 equality, where it has been used by the denied to them. So various other provisions under Constitution prohibited the exploitation faced by the marginalized. And time to time the marginalization minority has raised their voice and asked for equal and just treatment. So this article is there very helpful for this type of marginalized people, and they time to time raise their voice against the government. Our next topic is laws for the marginalized groups. Next topic is laws for the marginalized groups. So student, there are various type of laws made for the marginalized groups by the Constitution and for the time to time by the government of India. And there are specific laws and policies for the marginalized groups in our country for their various type of upliftment, that like economic upliftment, educational upliftment, and their social remove their social backwardness. So there are various government makes an effort to promote such policies to give opportunity to specific groups, and there are various type of articles also in the Constitution for them. So Article 29(1) states that the citizens of India have the rights to conserve their district culture and languages. Article 29(2) further states that the basis of caste, religion, language, no individual can be denied admission to any government or non-government institution. Minorities have the right to establish and administrate their educational institutes. States shall not discriminate against any institution on the grounds that is under the management of minority communities. And there are various type of laws, specific laws for the this group, that is implementation of the constitution provision for SC and ST. So government jobs are also reserved for them and they are adequately represented. For the socio-economic development of STs, Minorities of Tribal Affairs, and was set up in 1999. For various competitive examination, free of cost training is provided to student of SC and ST. Various vocational training programs have been launched in the tribal areas. Educational institutions have also been opened to promote female literacy ratio. Free textbooks are provided for SC and ST students in school, colleges, and for medical engineering courses. So here there is very besides this, the government tries to promote social justice by providing for free or subsidized hostel for the student of Dalits and Adivasi communities. That besides this, the reservation policy is significant and highly continuous. So the laws which reserve seats in education and government employment for the Dalits and Adivasi are based on the important argument that in a society like ours, where for centuries section of the population has been denied opportunities to learn and to work in order to develop new skill or assist this section. So there are various type of their reservation policies also given to the this type of students. Student, you see this picture, why reservation policy is very much essential for in our country. And upper you see this picture, there you see the caste, our caste system, the manual excavenger, people of manual excavenger, how they treated badly by the upper caste. They are the things like doing very bad dirty work, so people hated him and seeing in a very bad manners and treated very bad manners. These type of people forced to leave out of the village and the corner side. And the upper caste, in our caste system, upper caste people always exploited and they they treated badly to the lower caste people. That's why in our country reservation policy is very much essential. And you see the picture, Bhimrao Ambedkar, this is the father of the Constitution of India. He was also called the father of Constitution of India. They applied, he done very good work for the this type of minorities people, and given reservation policy in every aspects of life, like in the economic sector, in the political sector, in the social sector. So the this type of people can maybe uplift and make their situation better. So government across India have their list of scheduled caste or Dalits, scheduled tribes, and backward and most backward caste. The central government too has its list. So government has list of all the caste of the people. So those students who apply for the educational institution and apply for the post of any type of competition exam, they have to furnish proof of their caste certificate, for that is the tribes for status, and in the form of caste and other caste. So we have the get the achievement, they have given the benefits of their caste. Different kinds of, beside this, different kind of scholarship programs are also run by the government. So law is the like that laws related to business, cultural right, educational rights, and right against exploitation have been formed by the marginalized groups. Next topic is protecting the rights of Dalits and Adivasi. So student, our country has specific laws that guards against the discrimination and exploitation of marginalized communities. As you know, Dalit and other weaker sections of the society were ill-treated and humiliated, ultimately the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So in your NCERT textbook, you you will read about the case study of Ratnam, a Dalit boy, the story of Jakmalpur village, and how this case study you better understand about their protecting the rights of Dalits and Adivasi. So Prevention of Atrocity Act 1999 was passed The main aim of this act was to keep an eye on the violence against the Dalits and to deliver severe punishment to those who still violate the law. So this is the case study I will tell you here. Ratnam, a member of Dalit community, was asked to perform the ritual he had to in which he had to wash the feet of the priest and the bath in the same water. So Ratnam, that was educated boy, were refused to perform this ritual as he does not have faith in it. The powerful caste in the village where Ratnam lived were greatly angered by this. In order to teach him a lesson, the villager decided to expel him and his family. One night, although his hut was set on fire and his mother managed to escape, so he went to the then local police section unlike a case under the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Prevention of Atrocities Act 1989. The caste was also supported by the media. So due to Ratnam's story, you can better understand this how the protecting the rights of Dalit and Adivasi, that is the act was framed, that is in 1989, and this is called the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Prevention of Atrocities Act. Okay. So a member of assertive Dalit groups came into being and asserted their rights. They refused to perform their so-called caste duties and insisted on being treated equally. After in the 1970s to 1980, Adivasi people successfully organized themselves and demanded equal rights and for their land and resources to return to them. In this picture, you can see the various type of struggle and protest and movement by the various type of Dalit people and the marginalized people for their demands. They raise their voice against the government about their various type of demands. And you see in this picture during 1980s, the Scheduled Caste and the Scheduled Tribe Act was implemented in 1989. It was framed in the response to the demands made by the Dalits and other backward communities, OBC, who were inhumanly treated and humiliated. The act contained a long list of social injustice and distinguishes them at several levels. This act seems to purpose those who force a member of a scheduled tribe or scheduled caste to drink or any 1989 SC/ST Provision Act. This act distinguishes several levels of crime. The Scheduled Caste and the Scheduled Tribe Act was implemented in 1989. It was framed to respond to the demands made by the Dalits and the other backward communities. So this act seems to punish those who force a member of the scheduled tribe or scheduled caste to drink or eat any unedible or obnoxious substances. Then, after forcefully remove tears the clothes of the person belonging to the scheduled caste or scheduled tribes, or forces him to to parade naked or painted face, body, or commits any other similar act that violates human dignity. So these are the crime. If anyone have done, they have punishable. Next, force the SC/STs to do begor or forced labor and the land those who illegally occupy the land allotted to them or get their land transferred in their names. After that, assault or use force on any women belonging to the SC/ST with a purpose to dishonor her. So these are the several levels of crime act. If anyone have do this type of crime against to the Dalits and Adivasi people or marginalized people, these are they have various given very heinous punishment. Next is manual scavengers. So manual scavengers are exposed is manual scavengers. Student, that you know who are manual scavengers? Manual scavengers are the people thought to be the most oppressed class in our country. They perform manual tasks like removing human excreta, etc. It is a caste-based occupation that continued for many centuries in both urban and rural areas. So these many scavengers are exposed to some human condition of work and face serious hazards. They are exposed to the infection that affect their eyes, skin, respiratory and gastrointestinal system. And for this they got very low wages for the work they perform this working in urban municipalities, that is 30 or 40 rupees per day, and those working privately are paid much less. So after independence there are various type of activities. The act punishes the employment of exchanges or the construction of dry non-flush inventories with imprisonment for up to 1 year and or a fine of 2000 rupees. Moreover, the responsibility of rehabilitation has been taken by the government. These scavengers got accommodated in the local municipal body as Safai Karmchari. The government has also assisted the scavengers and their dependents to opt for the alternative trade by the providing subsidy, bank loan and training for such trades. The Bonded Labor System Abolition Act 1976 and the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Prevention of Atrocity Act 1989 was proved successful in discouraging the practice of manual scavenging. So the petitioner complained the manual scavenging still existed and it is continued in government undertaking like the railways. The petitioner sought enforcement of their fundamental right. We shall notice instances of atrocities against the minorities and lower section of the society. This situation really needs to take care of the implementing of laws made by the government. The recent details of civil workers put a horrific picture in front of administration and made us to think that in the advanced era of technology, we have to depend on manual scavenging. So government directed every department, ministry of the Indian government and state government to verify the facts within 6 months. If manual scavenging practices were taken, action taken by immediately. Next topic is Adivasi demands and the 1989 Act. So student, in this chapter, in this topic we see how in the 1989 all the Adivasis group, the community and Adivasi group leader activists collected and they raised their demands about their various type of development of their situation. Like activist Adivasi activists including C.K. Janu rightly believe that Adivasi can also use Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Prevention of Atrocities Act 1989 to fight against dispossession. Adivasi activists refer to the 1989 Act as an attempt to reclaim the forest land which were originally theirs. Adivasi have asked that those who forcibly occupied tribal and should be punished under 1989 Act. According to 1989 Act, a non-tribal people can not buy or sell land which originally belonged to the tribal people. The Indian Constitution gives the freedom to the tribal people or reclaim their land. According to Siko Janu and Adivasi activists, government of various states are also violates the constitutional rights. So this 1989 Act is important because Adivasi referred to it to defend their right to occupy land that was traditionally there. Adivasi, often unwilling to move from their land, are forcefully displaced. This act merely confirms that the land belonging to the tribal people cannot be sold to and brought by non-tribal people. Adivasi demands for their tribal lands to be preserved and their forest rights to be conserved with their had inherited. Adivasi always wanted that their culture and primitive methods of living should not be changed and they should have privilege to live their own. So by formulating Act, Indian government tried to stop exploitation of tribals in the hands of forest officials as well. So these are the act given by the government for this Act 1989 Act to the protection the rights of the Adivasi. We learned in this chapter Indian Constitution provides 6 fundamental rights to all citizens equally. Marginalized communities are issued for the enforcement of rights, and laws have influenced the government to frame new laws. No discrimination should be made on the basis of religion, caste, race, and extra. Minorities are provided rights to freedom of religion, right to education and culture, extra. There are specific laws for the upliftment of the marginalized. The government is promoting social justice for Dalits. Reservation policy is very significant for the development of scheduled caste and backward classes. Specific laws have also been made for the protection of rights of Dalits and Adivasi. Adivasi people successfully organized themselves and demanded equal rights. Act of 1989 defends the Adivasi rights to reclaim the land which was originally theirs. So in this chapter you understand better that how the challenges, how the problems of the minorities and Adivasi, Dalit or Muslims, they are that their rights are protected by these laws and their various type of articles given by the constitutions. So in the last conclusion, the existence of a right or law, even a policy or paper, does not mean that it exists in reality. So this those whatever rights or policy or paper, it means that is practically they have ruled for all the people. All the people have benefited the laws or the advantages of this type of laws. People had to constantly work on or make efforts to translate these into principles that guide the action of their fellow citizens or even their leaders. The desire for equality, dignity, and respect is not new. It has existed in different forms throughout our history. Similarly, even in democratic societies, similar process of struggle, writing, negotiation, and organizing needs to continue. So, student, this is all for your lesson confronting marginalization, and I hope you all understand this chapter better, and you can better understand this chapter for this video lecture that I presented. Thank you.